Thank you, and thank you all for being here. Thanks for, as we start our winter 2017-2018 season. As we get into it, it might not feel like winter, but we've actually, last night was the second time we had crews out in Western Maryland, so Kaiser's Ridge. There's a lot of action out there right now. We had a storm about a week ago, dropped about 3.5 inches on us. So, as winter is just starting around here, we're really kicked it off already in Western Maryland. So we do this every year with our partners, with all of you. We see all of you as our partners in this as we get information out and try and react to the storms that hit us throughout the winter. And we do this because safety is our top priority in everything that we do. And we work really hard to manage the winter storms and keep everyone out of harm's way. 20 years with MDOT SHA, this is my first year as SHA administrator. My first day, we had a snowstorm forecasted, and I grabbed a jacket and did a press conference on my very first day. So although that storm turned out to be not as big as we thought it was still a tricky one where we're managing ice throughout the storm. I think I spent a little over 25, 26 hours in this room over here on my first day. So we were thrown right into it. So I believe in the customer experience, and I believe our customers have an experience every day as they're driving on our roads, but that also includes how we communicate with the traveling public and our customers every single day. Our social media platforms to ensure that they have all of the information that we need, and constantly changing conditions as we work with all of you to get the word out as our winter conditions change and as we work around the clock. As we've done in winters before, we're going to communicate early, often, as much as we possibly can to get the right information out at the right time. And this really hits on some of the 4 priority areas that I have focused on as administrator with communication and customer experience. We owe you that information. We owe you that information so that you can help us get that word out to your viewers. This isn't just about customer service. It's about a customer experience. People need to get to work. People need to get to the store. People need to travel throughout their day-to-day life, so we work hard to keep that happening. And lastly, we will use modernization and innovation, these other 2 areas, as we deliver every day in what we need to do for operations and performance. And let me describe a little bit of the modernization and innovation that we're using this year. Salt reduction. We continue to focus on reducing the amount of salt that we use on our system every year in reacting to our storms, but also keeping safety as our top priority. In fact, last year, although the state had a relatively mild winter, but on the storms we did encounter, we were able to realize a 50% reduction in salt usage with some simple techniques. How do we do this? First and foremost, pre-treating. You see the lines in the road, everybody that drives out there, every time we do it, I get those questions. What are those lines in the road? Those are pre-treating. We use salt brine. And what that is it takes a liquid solution. It's 23% salt and 77% water. We get it on the road, and then as snow falls, that liquefies and pre-treats the roadway. They spray it preceding a storm, and the dried brine leaves those streaks on the road, and that film helps prevent the initial bonding of the snow and ice from that storm and makes it into a slushy material, which is much easier for us to treat throughout the day. The pre-treating helps us reduce salt usage immensely during a storm because it's not as much direct salt hitting the roadway. The other one is pre-wetting the salt hoppers on the trucks. This is something that really reduces what we call scatter of road salt. It keeps the salt where it needs to be. So you think back in time when you drive behind a snowplow truck and they'd be spraying salt and it would be bouncing all over the place. What we do now is we wet that salt down in the hopper of the truck. And what that does is it creates it sort of like an oatmeal type material versus the hard salt. So when it comes out of those sprayers, it actually drops onto the roadway and sticks. So we get it to stay in the lane where we need it to be. This reduces the salt. It reduces the salt that goes off of the roadway and scatters from where we're spraying it. So what it does is it keeps it where we need it in these important routes. The other thing we're really focused on this year is liquid-only routes. So the salt brine only routes. We've designated several routes in the state. You'll see them in your packet today across the state where we're having these liquid-only routes, and that means during normal non-blizzard storms, our crews will use salt brine only during the actual treatment of the storm. And then you compare that to the granular rock salt, which is 100% salt. And think about salt brine, which is only 23%. It allows you to reduce the salt that you're having on the overall system. We have a lot of new, some cool new tools to work with this year too. You know, I've talked about the chemistry aspects of the salt, but we also have, you know, the hardware tools that we have out there. 624 snowplow trucks today in the metro area, and we have 205 wing plow trucks. Those are trucks that have 2 blades on them, and we use a tow plow on I-68 in Western Maryland and in I-70 in Howard County. Those trucks can clear 2.5 lanes of snow with one pass and only one driver controlling both plows. We also have some smarter roads today. So we have 150 weather sensors throughout our state, and these snow weather sensors that give us pavement temperatures, but also atmospheric conditions. So what we've done is we've directly linked them up to our message boards. So when there's changing condition, pavement temperatures drop, we can feed that information directly to our message boards to give people caution and warning about pavement conditions, but also roadway conditions. We're starting to see some snow. So what we've done is we removed that human intervention part of it directly from those weather sensors directly to our message signs to provide the best and most accurate information we can. Our people are an asset here as well. If you've never worked a snowstorm with us, they're some of the most hardworking people you will ever see, and they work hard round the clock. So one of those hardworking people is here. In fact, one of our most experienced team leaders, Dan Barber, is here to address some of these questions. So what's new this year? We added 20 infrared weather sensors. So those 20 added to our network brings our total network to 62 statewide. This helps us keep these key winter decisions, real-time information about the snow. Out in Garrett County, we're piloting a mobile salt brine making machine. So we have salt brine machines all over at some of our district shops, but this is a mobile one where we can use salt brine and make it at some of these mobile locations that don't have that, so we can maximize that. Again, salt brine, 23% salt versus the straight 100% out on the system. So we're able to get out to those satellite shops. Expectations, and one thing we will emphasize this winter as we do everywhere, is there's going to be snow on the ground at some point. We're going to be working hard, and we're going to be out there making the best decisions we can, whether it's a major coastal storm or a significant snowfall throughout the state and snow drifting coming back on the roadway with high winds. We remain committed to getting those lanes open as quickly as possible and getting our residents back to normal business. In 2016, we had Winter Storm Jonas drop an unprecedented amount of snow on the system. And during that storm, our goal was to keep one lane passable initially, and then get out there and clear that up later on so that emergency vehicles can get through. Just like when you shovel your walk or driveway, you can get a head start during the storm. So we try and get out there early and often. Each storm is different. Each part of our state is different. So we need to deploy those crews, make those best decisions. And of course, ice is always the worst. So as we look at our customers and your viewers and listeners to be able to react as well, if a storm is coming during rush hour, help us get the word out about leaving early or staying late and working through it, or wait until it passes and you can save yourself the headache and frustration of getting stuck in the snow. When a storm happens during the day, everybody's out and about and doing their thing. It can cause a major problem because our crews are out there with the day-to-day traffic trying to clear the roadway. So anything you can do to help us clear the path and help us get away and get those plows and crews out treating the system. Something worth repeating each year is when a storm produces 6 inches or more, we open select park and rides, so it's safe for some of our trucking community to go and park. When a truck gets stranded on our roadway or stuck in our roadway, it has a major impact on regional travel. So it just snow piles up and vehicles become disabled. So we want to provide safe havens for them to go park. We have those information available on our website, and frankly, for some of our more seasoned truckers, we have mobile apps where they can get out there and see exactly where those are. So we position those heavy trucks in those prone areas. The other thing we do is we put heavy-duty plow or tow trucks out there on areas like I-70 near South Mountain and near the Baltimore-Howard County line on 95, Prince George's, Howard, Baltimore County, to be able to get those trucks and those people out of the way and to safety as quickly as possible. Some safe driving tips and what we can do and ask all of us, our customers, to do every day is during ice and storm, you're going to see motorists traveling too fast for conditions. Speed limits are designed for ideal conditions, not for ice and snow. Adjust to the weather, be out there, and keep everyone safe. You can go lower when the conditions warm. Never pass our snow plows or our snow plow trains. Give them the distance, give them the space to clear as much as they possibly can, and keep us safe and you safe at the same time. Crews are clearing untreated roads ahead and plows are treating behind, so we need to give everybody space in and around those plows. So SHA crews travel 15-20 mile routes for the most part, one lane at a time as we're keeping the plow train moving. So keep in mind, as those plow trains move around in those 15-20 mile routes, there's going to be snow on the road as they circle back around. So understand that our goal is to keep that pavement open, passable, but keep our pavement bare within 6 hours of the regular storm. If we get a blizzard, we're just trying to keep it moving. So getting us out there and helping us in any way that you can. The other thing that you can help us get the word out about is now is the time to make your vehicle ready for winter. So get out there, understand, check your belts and hoses, and make sure you're ready for cold weather and winter. Make sure your battery has enough charge and you have a good battery. Ensure your tires have adequate air. Make sure that you have your headlights and your taillights and all your signals are working. And it's now time to get your ice scraper and your brushes out so you can clear your car of snow. And finally, as we do every year and in every storm, we ask for all of your patience. We're going to be working hard around the clock, and we will do our best to keep these lanes open, and we will work hard until they are. And we have a very, very dedicated crew that will do that every time these winter storms hit. So we were going to continue to work and keep the smartest decisions that we can and keep these lanes and that system moving. So thank you again for all coming out here today. And I'll now take some time for any questions you may have.